Muhammad, the prophet and founder of one of the three major monastic religions in the world, Islam. The history of Islam basically goes hand in hand with the life of Muhammad, that is known as Shira, and it confirms the values of social justice and brotherhood. It defines also the behavior and way of thinking of Muslims and in understanding the reality of the Muslim world. He is a real model to follow. Muhammad means highly praised, and he was born in the city of Mecca around 570 AD. He was known for his great love for the truth, for his generosity and sincerity. He was a deeply religious person. As an adolescent, Muhammad spent long periods in deserts to think and meditate in solitude. When he was nearing the age of 40, Muhammad began to retreat from time to time to the cave on Mount Hira, near Mecca, and he detested the conflicts, lawlessness, and moral squalor of the society. During his meditations, he received the revelation from the Archangel Gabriel for the following 23 years, and today it is known as the Quran. The Quran covers every topic that affects us as human beings: wisdom, doctrine, worship, and law. But the central theme is the relationship between God and His creatures. The term Quran in Arabic means the act of reciting. It is the word of God relieved in the Arabic language. Initially, it was passed down orally, and only later, 20 years after the death of the Prophet, was there the need to collect the verses in 140 chapters, also called surahs. Not a word, not a comma has been changed over the centuries, and therefore the Quran is the only holy text of Islam. It establishes the divine order of human conduct, and every Muslim is obliged to carry out that order, both as individual and with other faithful. The basis of Muslim life, and therefore obligatory for every Muslim, are generally known as the 5 pillars of Islam: faith, prayer, almsgiving to the needy, fasting during the month of Ramadan, and the pilgrimage to Mecca for those who are able to do so. The Muslim population is about 1.5 billion Muslims worldwide. It was practiced in 162 countries, and there are 70 million in Europe. This religion teaches that man should make proper use of his intellect, giving life to great civilizations and universities. We had great progress in fields such as medicine, mathematics, physics, astronomy, architecture, art, literature, and history. In the matter of Italy, in our cities are around 1,200,000 faithful, so today Islam is the second most practiced religion. But the coexistence between people of different cultures and religions has met some difficulties, generated by the terrorist attacks of the 11th September 2001 and the affirmation of political parties opposed to immigration. But despite that, Muslims have not had to face too many problems. In fact, today they obtain permission to slaughter animals according to the Islamic rite, of having their own burial area in existing cemeteries, and the possibility for imams to visit hospitals and prisons as Christian chaplains do. Another country with a high number of Muslims is Germany. Today there are about 3.5 million, of which 2 million are Turks. So we had the problem of immigration exactly in the year 1950 with the arrival of this population. The multi-religiousness of the German society entailed that even Muslim community enjoyed the same participatory rights in public life of the Christian churches. For that reason, it is very important to know that list the differences and the similarities of these important religions, in order to have a constructive dialogue and to compare different ideas and beliefs. Despite this, the Muslims living in Germany today do not give us an uniform image, because they are individuals who have different ways of seeing the world depending on their education, training, and country of origin. In the course of time, thanks to the respect for practices, rituals, and festivals of other religions, Germany became socially more open, even if there are also some prejudice. The common purpose of all of us is to be able to live in a multi-ethnic country without any problem, where we could stay in peace and happiness with each other. In the United Kingdom, Islam begins with the birth of a child. The name Muhammad, described in English, was attributed to 7,515 children in England and Wales, exceeding the number of Olivers and Jacks. According to statistics on immigration, the various Muslim communities began to settle in British territory after the Second World War and to influence UK society in various ways. From the early 50s until today, the number of Muslims has risen to above 1 million. We could find the social Islamic influence especially in the diversity of food. For example, it is forbidden eating pork or drink any kind of intoxicating drink. There are centers for halal quality certification. Halal is an Arabic word meaning lawful. This word includes the conduct and the rules of feeding allowed to Islam, in contrast to haram, that means forbidden. This concept originates directly from the Quran, where we can read. Just the reverse how it appears to the Western world, Islam considers women like individuals with right to own goods without having to answer to her husband. Consider that Muslim marriage is not a sacrament, but a simple legal agreement, and both parties are free to add clauses. However, does not mean that the Islamic marriage does not have religious connotations. In fact, every institution deriving from Quranic precepts are of a religious nature. The marriage is opposed to any other form of sexual union considered adultery, with the sole exception of the relationship between master and slave. Men have the duty to keep and protect their women and children. He must keep from mistreating his wife, and he has to ensure an equal treatment to all wives in case of polygamous marriage. The rights and duties between spouses resulting from marriage reflect the hierarchical concept between men and women. In fact, the woman has the duty of total and absolute obedience towards her husband, and this is sanctioned by the Quran as regards the submission of women to men, where man operates as mediator between women and God. One of the most obvious symbols of the cultural and religious identity of Islamic spirituality is the veil worn by Muslim women. However, wearing the veil is not an outward sign of the mortification of women, as it may appear to the Western world. For Muslim women, it is the manifestation of their faith, Muslim standards and traditions. Moreover, it is a visible symbol of their submission to God. Both Islam and Christianity are religions with merits, which develop their history simultaneously with the history of civilization. Future generations, through appropriate education, should be free to choose their beliefs without detaching from the company. This is the only way to respect a different culture and not to be dominated by it, because only with knowledge is one really free. Achieving true integration is not an unattainable goal.